Hello, everyone. Oh, I've made a mistake. give me like 30 more seconds. Actually, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready yet. All right, let's give that another shot, shall we? I was vibing out so hard to the Endless Space 2 music that I just forgot to turn on my camera or my light. I was just like in the dark with no camera on me, and I was like, this is good. We're ready to go. Endless Space 2 has incredible music. Makes me want to play that game again. I only really played it right at the start. It still kind of had some problems when it launched. And then Stellaris came out and I never touched it again. But wonderful game. I have like tons of hours in Endless Space 1. And I would have had many more if desync issues didn't prevent some of those runs from going a bit longer. Anytime you lose a run to multiplayer desync and you have to like start over, you're like, well, maybe we'll just wait a couple of months before we touch this game again. So instead of just absolutely spamming it, we'd get to the same place at the end of every game where it would just break and we would be like, all right, well, that was fun. Catch you guys next time, I guess. Yeah. But other than that, random blurb about the songs I'm listening to. I hope you're all having a wonderful start to your week. Mine is going well. The new schedule is barely in place, but is now in shambles again. Whatever. So, my Pathfinder session with Moto as the GM has moved to Sundays, which means Sunday is no longer our GM prep day. So our GM prep is going to be happening today on Mondays for now. I say from now on, but really, I should just say like for a bit. Currently, at present, at the very least this week, GM prep night is tonight. Music nights will usually be Tuesdays, I think. They might be on... It's going to be on Wednesday this week, but I think they'll be on Tuesday. I'm considering moving it to Wednesday, just like throwing my schedule out the window completely and just completely changing years of precedent. Because, like, 2 of my friends have their days off on Tuesday, so it feels weird to stream that day. Like, Voraktee's off stream on Tuesdays, but plays D&D anyway, so it doesn't really, you know, not a ton of time to hang out on those days anyway. And then, like, one of my IRL friends has Tuesday off, so it's, like, kind of silly for that to be, like, one of my couple of stream days. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll try it for a bit. We'll see how we feel. This week, there will be no campaign on Saturday. I will be completely absorbed by Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail. Don't know if anyone else is playing it. I definitely will be. I've been having a heck of a time in Final Fantasy XIV lately. Really enjoying catching up and like getting all of my reputation stuff done and everything. Getting all of my little goals in line. I just realized I only have like tonight and tomorrow. This is another reason I'm not streaming tomorrow, is I have some stuff that I want to get done for Final Fantasy XIV before the new expansion comes out, and I only have today and tomorrow to, like, get the PvP rewards that I want, and that's a pretty big deal. There's like an armor set that you get for not hitting a certain rank, but just playing a certain number of games, really, so I might be spamming those tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. That realization just kind of hit me. Anyway, even though there's no campaign on Saturday this week, we'll still be jumping in and doing GM prep while the last session is fresh in my mind. There's kind of a good balance to strike here between, okay, I want enough time to think about last session and what's next, but but not too long that anything like fades from my mind. So apparently 2 days is where that balance maybe gets cut. I definitely would like lose stuff if we waited until next week, until after I'm done being obsessed with Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail. So we're gonna do it today. We're gonna hop in. We're gonna fill out our worksheet based on the Lazy GM kind of like session prep worksheet. And maybe we're gonna go through. We use Foundry as our virtual tabletop, and maybe we're gonna go through and see if we can update to version 12, because that came out a little while ago. It's been long enough that most of the major mods are going to be updated, but I don't know that all of the little things I use, like the Baldur's Gate style carousel combat tracker, is going to be updated. Things like that. Some of these side modules, but a lot of the core modules we use probably will be updated, so it's probably fairly safe to update to V12. And that is stuff like being able to paint regions to kind of like automate some stuff. Like I think you can, I don't know if it's in default, but I assume there will be modules that help you do this, where you can like set a region as being difficult terrain, and then when people walk over it, it like subtracts extra movement, which is nice. Just if it like shows as difficult terrain when they're like dragging the ruler over it or whatever, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So we might try to do that in a little bit. For now, I don't see much reason to dilly-dally further. I do see a reason to pause my face in the preview window. I don't need to see my face 5 times. So we'll get into the recap for last session while my dog is cleaning himself over there. So let's move my notes somewhere. We'll focus on the map a little bit. I'll hit the little flag. Set a marker to tell me where the recap is. Okay, so the previous session, the party had been meandering about, sneaking their way into this cult encampment. They've been like stealing little bits of information about what to do next. This cult that they're infiltrating worships this coming savior who is arriving on a comet, more or less, that they can already see in the sky and seems to be getting closer every day, and is like raining down pods with minions that'll come into play later. So they've been infiltrating this cult, getting what information they can, stealing certain things from the cult, and absconding with them, particularly a certain NPC that was helping the cult figure out a puzzle box. Finally, one of the cult leaders here in this camp caught wise, contacted another cult leader outside of the camp, said, hey, we need to... Well, what do you want me to do about this? Because he was kind of the second in command. And the leader said, just wait, I will show up and we will deal with these pests. And they tried to trade this NPC that the party was going to abscond with. They took him hostage and said, give us back this puzzle box that you have and this compendium of, like, tombs of old gods. Give me these things that you have taken from us, and you can have this person that we don't care about, that is useless to us while you have these artifacts. And the party kind of talked their way into basically one of these two cult leaders was a little more, had a bit of a better heart than the other one. It convinced him that it wasn't right what they were doing now, and to kind of come to terms with that, with like his beliefs in what this group is doing compared to his own like sense of honor, turned to the leader of the cult and said, like, let the hostage go, we do this without the hostage. They did so. They got trounced a little bit. Some die rolls went wildly out of their favor. One of them lost a lot, lost a couple of turns, and yeah. So the cult leaders were ended up dead on the ground. Oh, they're both gone. I don't even know why I'm coming here. I don't even know what I have to show you on this screen. But they killed the two cult leaders. They won the fight. And as they were about to start their traditional celebration of having their mimic eat the defeated, a large black bark spiders started to descend the cliff. A caster on top of the cliff was chanting words, and these vines were kind of like grabbing one of the bodies, the body of Augustine, and trying to like retrieve that. And the party was like, "Oh, whoa, no, this is our kill. This is ours. You can't just take this." But the spider kind of like reached them, came down the cliff and reached them, and turned into this horned orc. I can't very easily pull up just the art, but they are a character from a previous campaign who had a bit of an existential crisis. When they kind of like realized that just kind of like the people in this world weren't really banding together, weren't really working together, even when it like made a lot of sense to him, and he kind of like lost heart. He was this hero who lost faith that the world could be changed with the current like situation. So he found out that there was this order called the Dominion of the Black out in the void, who was trying to reach this world and kind of like enact revenge on the Four. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to help with that. I'm going to help these void beings get here. And hopefully that will unite the world. That will get the world to get their butt in gear. And, you know, either they will and it'll be fine, or they won't and they don't deserve to go on. So that is his gambit. So he kind of came down the cliff. He arrived here in front of the party for the first time. Said, "That was a good fight. Well done. Not gonna stand in the way of that. Not here for anything but the body of Augustine, the leader of the cult. You're gonna give me the body of the leader of the cult, and you can go on your way." And the party was pretty beat up. Turkon was like less than half health. Isha was completely out of spells. A lot of resources had been spent. And so at first they were kind of resistant. And Uro was like, "Look, I don't want to fight you." They kind of went back and forth a little bit. The party got the idea that like, oh, this guy kind of like wants people to band together like we are. We this group of misfit monsters who are coming together and trying to stop this cult. That is what he wants. And they kind of like got this weird and correct idea that they could trust Uro. I mean, like, they can't really trust Uro, but something about Uro is in the right place, even if they don't totally understand what's going on. And they were like, all right, we're not really in a state to fight, so they gave him a body. And they were like, hopefully next time we meet, we don't have to fight. We can avoid conflict. And Uro was like, well, hopefully when we fight, you're all in better condition and not bleeding from your previous encounter. How about that? Let's aim our sights lower. And that was pretty funny. I had this character's former player do the voicing and role-playing here, and I kept... Like, he didn't have a lot of information. He was like, I don't really want meta information. And I was like, that's great. That's perfect. And so I kept kind of expecting him to, like, ask me things in DMs. Or, like, defer to me in any way. But he just kept, like, rambling off lines like, no, that's need to know, and you don't need to know. And things along those lines. He was like, he did a very good job of kind of role-playing and coming up with stuff that sounded very good but didn't give anything away. And he knows what Uro's motivations are. He told me Uro's motivations. He told me he wanted Uro to be kind of the catalyst for this Monsters Save the World campaign. The ideas kind of evolved together. So, yeah, that went really well. And, if you have players that you trust to do that kind of thing, I recommend it. It was a lot of fun seeing how he role-played Uro as kind of this villain. This still very, like, chill, very open, very honest villain, but clearly up to some stuff that the party would disagree with. So anyway, party handed over the body. Uro was like, great, took it, turned into a goat, Why a goat and not a spider? Because the spider thing was in my head because I'd seen Uro turn into a spider in the other campaign, but it would now be a goat because of the changed religious affiliations going on with Uro the cleric. So he turned into a goat instead and hopped up this cliff with the body. They didn't really get a good look at the caster, which is a shame. I kind of expected someone. They were asking. They were like, "Who's your associate up there?" And he was like, "I don't know." And like none of the party like looked up to see who the associate was, who's not pictured here. But we'll get back to them. I'm not even gonna say it here to you, chat. You don't even get to know. But it's someone connected to. I'm not even gonna say that. Not even gonna say that. You'll see eventually. It will come up for certain. I already have ideas of how it might come up later. So anyway, so the party left here. They headed back to the cult camp. They said they didn't really have much else to do here. They did get a sending stone off of Augustine's corpse. They know that the voice of the Seraph also has one, the kind of like spiritual leader here in the cult camp. They didn't they did end up fetching it. We'll just say that. I gave an opening and they took it. But they came back and the camp was surprisingly chill, not in any kind of panic. They were like, "Oh yeah, it said there might be trouble, said not to really trust anyone who got back before Augustine and the voice, but it seems like it's fine." And the party was like, "Okay, that's weird." What do you mean? But a couple of them stayed out here to like talk with kind of the cult members that were around the fire here. Some of them went to like snoop into these supplies, see if they could find anything interesting, which they did. There was a back room with a couple of primordial couple of chests with a lot of copper coins filled with primordial envy oozes. So they didn't end up engaging with these. They just kind of ran away, and these things have a movement speed of 15 feet. So, you know, they didn't want the rewards from this. They left the primordial envies alone. They found a bit of +1 armor in the armory as part of their scrounging. And kind of the biggest thing they found was they came in here, came in the main chapel in the cave, and found out that the voice was here again. And immediately one of the players, like the player who found this, kind of laughed, and they're like, "What's going on here?" And they kind of like thought it was a GM mistake, right? And I was like, "Oh, yes. Yeah, you walk in, and before you, in the chapel, you see the voice, the man you had just killed." And the player was like stunned. Voraktee was like kind of stunned for a second, was like, "Okay." Okay, and then like got his attention, and the voice came over, and once he was kind of like past this line where no one else could see his face, this kind of like warm smile that the voice of the Seraph usually had turned into this kind of sly, snide grin. And like said they should have a conversation, and long story short, Turisaincrad, Voraktee's character, kind of figured out this is like a copy or a doppelganger or someone who's been changed to look like the voice. It wasn't a disguise kit as far as he could tell. He also rolled really bad on perception, so maybe I should have said, "Oh, it is a disguise kit," but I don't like giving like super direct misinformation like that. But at any rate, like as far as he could tell, it wasn't a disguise kit, and that's because this is a Dominion plant. I don't remember the name of the creature, but they're some kind of shapeshifter that is specifically meant to take the form of leaders and kind of you know, impersonate people, take over countries like that. And I wanted to signal that this could happen really early in like the lowest stakes situation possible for something like this. Like they're revealing cockily that they have this capability, and it probably is gonna come back up later. The previous voice was kind of like freely giving information to kind of the angels of this unseen Seraph who's coming. They're kind of really good at like taking information from one person, giving it to another, modifying memories, and kind of like this transfer of information. They're like the information network for this cult and the greater Dominion at large out in the void. And so this the Rutalics, the angels, kind of like transferred all of the information that the voice had been giving up freely into this voicelganger. So that happened. They had this conversation in the office, and then we had kind of a flashback where I was like, and he just leaves. He doesn't mind that you're in here. And they like took this orb, this sending stone that was in this box, so they can use that to communicate between two members of the party. And they also grabbed a note at random. I had them roll on a table, and they came up with the most consequential little rumor secret clue thing that I had. So that was, they don't know it's a big deal. It could absolutely be a big deal. I didn't like outright tell them that it was they're one of the kind of side goals that they're looking at in the future is this this Arx Sustanium, this sustaining keep, which is like a seemingly flying keep that this cult wants to destroy. And originally I put it in the game because the party wanted like sieges, and they wanted like a settlement. They talked about having a settlement, having like siege warfare happen, having kind of like some settlement based stuff. And then one of the players is playing a dungeon, so they've kind of started to make that the settlement. And I'm like, I don't know how to do this now. The Arx Stadium is like pretty embedded in the story, and maybe I'll just have it be a one and done. We'll talk about it in a minute. There's it could be used in a bit of a different way, but we'll see. It will be a glorified boat, if nothing else. So all that aside, they didn't do anything about the voice of the Seraph. They're like, we're beat up, and we kind of think that if we like attack this guy and kill him, like he might just get replaced again. And we have better things to do than to play whack-a-mole with the voice of the Seraph. So they left. Yeah, they just left. Without causing further trouble. And like they were a little hesitant to be like, we want to destroy all of these like regular people who have gathered into this cult. This part of the cult is not very militant. None of them here seem like particularly good fighters, except maybe like the 8th Bite, who's like the bard in this place, and like the voice and the eye. There's like a couple, but most of them seem like grunts, like they're kind of like they have jobs that they're doing, but it seems more like logistics based, and the party seems to get that they're not like super giga military here. So they were hesitant to be like, let's cut them all down and loot the whole place. Which I can respect. So, party started to head back to kind of the nearest city where they sent some of their party members, not their party members, their like followers that they'd gathered to gather some more information. And they met with them in a tavern called the Green Plum. They informed these two followers, who'd been with them for a little while, that they... the leader of the cult, Augustine, was responsible for killing a friend of theirs named Oriole, who had kind of been the first, kind of been the person who gave this pair like purpose before. They were like in this cult, and then Oriole got killed, and their focus became find Oriole's killer. And other people in the cult were like, it's not our job. It's not what we're supposed to do. But they were kind of like laser focused on it. So, they were like, their deal with the party was essentially like, we'll help you if you help us find Oriole's killer. We will work together on this. So they relayed some information. God, I forgot to mention the only thing in my whole list of like important scenes and important scene information. The only thing I forgot to mention is that Farley absconded with an artifact, not just the book that he had stolen, that the party then retrieved. He also had like this old god artifact. Yeah. These followers revealed that you need like a special ring to enter the vault. Augustine seemed to have one of these rings. The door kind of like records who entered, but the entry was blank at the time that the book was stolen, so it seems like maybe like a counterfeit ring. I did also forget to mention, they kind of like moved on with the conversation. I forgot to mention that the door is enchanted to like record the intent of whoever enters. So they gave like a piece of paper with a little bit of information, and I'm just gonna have it. It's gonna have all the information that I forgot to say. So we'll do that. Oh, and the big thing was like the researchers have backup catalogs of the compendium. The party briefly was like, that's a big fucking deal. They were very briefly like, we need to get rid of those. And then they were like, wait, never mind. Let's rethink that a little bit. Because maybe these backups are like limited use without the other information that we have. Which is just that Maratan, the like owl of nightmare, is also like the god of dusk in these compendiums. Which is not an incredibly hard thing to figure out if you ask me, but they came up with an alternate plan. They were like, maybe if we just go let out Maratan. Maybe we go let out Maratan, which is what I thought they'd do in the first place. So it's kind of weird that they like gave up on this. They immediately were like, we're not touching Maratan. We're not going anywhere near this goddamn bird. We're just going to make sure they don't get the right information. And then it's now circled all the way back around to, well, maybe we should go let out Maratan. These gods don't seem that bad. Doesn't seem like any of them are excited to work with this incoming evil god. So maybe we let out Maratan before they can enslave them. Maybe that's better than hiding them for a little while longer. So the party is now back on that groove. Weirdly back on the track that I thought they would jump on right away, but you know, I kind of thought when it got written off, it would stay written off. Just not the case. So here we go for that. What else? Man, there was a lot. They talked about, it was the first time they kind of recompiled all the information they had and talked about like their next steps. They'd done this a couple of times, but it was a bit more shorter term, I guess. It's like, what do we do next? And this is like, all right, what is our plan? What is our plan? Instead of making the most... Yesterday was about making the most of that day while we were in the Moonlight Pools. What is today? What is the best way to use all of the time until the Seraph comes? Which, spoiler alert, is a day. They have a day left before this Seraph arrives, and the end of the first arc is imminent. So I did note that they were like kind of confused about what to do next, and I guess like I was in a weird mood at the end of the session. I was getting really in my own head about some stuff. Doesn't happen that often. Usually I'm pretty like confident, keep things rolling as a GM. Nothing gets to me too much. But on occasion, something just like throws me. This is really the first time this campaign where I was like, oh man, I'm tilted. But even right now, I'm like fine. Now I'm fine. I've thought about it a little bit, talked to some of the players a little bit. I'm totally fine. But yeah, Saturday evening, I was a little weird. So listening to the players be confused about the information they had, I like started to panic. Whereas in the past, it's just how my campaigns go. I give the party a lot of information. Like some of the best treasure in my games, or just like extra information you can find. I have like lots of bits of side information that they can find that can help them make better decisions, but then they have to go over that kind of as a group, decide like what to track down, because like the first hook that comes along isn't necessarily the best hook, so they have to figure out like what actually do they want to do. And for whatever reason on Saturday it freaked me out. I guess maybe it freaked me out that it was maybe I didn't have a lot of sleep on Saturday. But B, it seemed like it was happening like for the second time in like 4 sessions where they just sat down and spent like an hour like talking about the best way to use all the information they had. And I was like, uh-oh. For whatever reason, it was a red flag to me. Like, I don't want them to be spending this much time debating with each other about, like, next steps. You know? And it started to freak me out, but it really just isn't a big deal looking over my notes again. I guess one thing that's a problem is they think that the star can be stopped if they, like, find and repair these towers. That's not true. Ship has sailed. I should have maybe, like, signaled somewhere a little more that, like, this guy was waiting for this opening. The opening happened when these towers, two of these anchoring towers were destroyed. That made enough of a temporary crack for this guy to slip through with his little comet, his star that he was traveling on. And I could have, like, signaled that a little harder. It doesn't seem like the next thing they're doing is going to repair one of these towers, so it doesn't matter that much. But that was one thing that freaked me out, is they were talking about it. Is like, I don't want them to do this thing that, like, I could change things around so it matters more, but it's definitely not going to stop the Seraph. But now they have Envoy walking with them, and Envoy might be able to give a little more information in terms of, like, he has already... I've had some astronomer friends looking at this comet, and he is already far past the barrier. He's closer than the moon. It's over in terms of stopping him from getting here. So I can provide a little bit of that information. Yeah, so they're really hoping that they can, like, stop this Seraph from coming. But one of the bits of information they got from their followers is that this priestess, when the researchers were getting into this place called the Rotunda, where some of the where like the more dangerous gods of the old world are kept, they had to get a priestess of the kind of main four gods to come with them to open this up. There was some, like, automaton defense system there that they could not get by without her help. So the party's like, maybe we go talk to this person. Maybe we go talk to this person who's over in this town here, and maybe that's our next steps. Oh, one other thing. As they were walking to town, they saw that along, as I said, the comet had been throwing down these pods that contain these plants that work for the Seraph, essentially. They're called moonflowers, and they kind of, like, psychically connect, and they can act as, like, a little bit of an army. They're kind of like a force that kind of puts the world into a bit of turmoil before they're like the first wave, and they're, like, barely intelligent, and they're just meant to, like, soften some of the intended early targets when the Dominion arrives in the world. And that's what they're doing. They've gathered around this city and have, like, tried to test the walls and tried to siege this city. The city has held them off without too much issue, but they've kind of, like, planted themselves in little forests along the city's edge, out of the range of the city's mages and artillery. But they weren't, like, trying to impede the party as they, like, walked into the city. They didn't, like, move. They seemed to be waiting for something the previous day. The next morning, after the party kind of arrived here, after they discussed all of these plans, they heard, like, an alarm get raised. They heard horns blow. They felt this whirring under their feet, and they thought, like, the inn was going to explode. I was like, oh. Huh. I didn't suspect that they would think there was, like, a bomb or an explosion going on at the random inn they were at. That wasn't the first thing I thought they would think of, but that's my bad. It was just the sound and feeling of this barrier getting erected around the city. This, like, pale green barrier kind of, like, raised up, formed a dome over the city. The party woke up from the horns. They started to investigate, and these explosions were, like, rocking the side of the barrier. And the party went to investigate, went to maybe help I described them as like finding their way up onto a wall, to see over a wall anyway, and they saw one column of devils, which they have had no interactions with at all so far. This party, previous party did, but one column of devils had arrived, and they had a pair of cannons that were firing this kind of like purple fire at the barrier, and it seemed to be eating away at the barrier. And that's kind of where we ended. I guess there is, yeah. I had kind of a false ending. I ended on that cliffhanger, but like they didn't actually see the devils at first, and then we were like talking for 10 minutes, and I was like, you know what, let's just, you guys get to a wall. We're not playing for 2 weeks, so I'm just gonna show you guys what's happening outside. And there's devils manning some weird cannons, these purple fireballs that seem to scream out of the cannons and slam into the wall and seem to like dissolve this wall in particular. And I just like, I felt, you know, like I said, I was kind of tilted at the end of the last session, and I just felt weird about my first ending, so I expanded it a little bit. I need to DM one of the players the expanded ending, but don't tell them. I will, I'll try to do that sometime tonight. Anyway, one more thing happened. This is a long recap, I apologize. One more thing happened before that, and it was a scene specific to Steris. Steris, who is a witch of the... their patron is Calamity Incarnate. And they specifically want to kind of reset this world at this point. They're like, these 4 gods from beyond the stars, they came, they fucked everything up, and the only way to get the world back to the way it's supposed to be is to just burn it all down. And I don't want the Dominion to have this world, but I don't want it to exist in this weird twisted state either. So he is pleased that Steris begrudgingly let out, opened the door to one of these gods named Vesgal, completely let out another god named Anha, the god of riddles. And this being that is connected to Steris was very pleased about that and gave them a boon. Their eyes, and the eyes of all the... Steris is a steno, they're basically a Medusa. All the eyes of the snakes on Steris' head can see... They have like the sight of vengeance or something. I don't remember what I called it. But they can see... They always know the direction and distance towards the nearest creature that has wronged you and thus far gone unpunished. Which at the moment is... Yes, dog. Ahem. Which currently is this group of adventurers that was hired to go kill Steris's sisters, and Steris herself, at this temple that Steris and her sisters watched as like not clerics or priestesses of Dala, this god of life, but just, you know, they just worked there. They were just like, I don't know the name. I don't know the name of it. They were just caretakers of this temple, essentially. Not particularly like well versed in the teachings of Denala or anything. They just took care of this temple. Yeah, and that was the other thing that happened just before dawn. Steris had this dream of this large serpentine creature. You kind of, through some perception checks and like talking with this creature, saw that they were a Naga, which is kind of a big deal in the current story. I know one of the players, Moto, has a correct assumption that it is the War Naga that was brought up in another discussion. People are kind of drawing the parallels there. So, yeah. Nudging that story along a little bit. And I'm hoping that's not too heavy-handed, but I'm just not gonna think about that. I'm just not gonna consider that Not gonna be bothered by shoulda-beens on that front. Anyway, all of that recapping aside, the players for the next session seem determined to fight this column of demons, maybe get rid of the cannons. This is, to me, was just like a backdrop thing with the party's like, well, this is what we gotta do. At least tourists said that. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna follow through with that, but I'm not 100% sure. And if they do, I've been drawing up a little battle plan for it, and we can talk about that as we prep here. So we're gonna pull over my notes. We're gonna make a new session, set of session notes. Oh, another thing that happened is Isha Ishalmuel is a Sphinx. Moto's character is a Sphinx who's kind of been sleeping in a gargoyle form the entire time that the four gods from beyond the stars, the main four gods in this world for 10,000 years, kind of like went to sleep when they arrived and has been sleeping this whole time. And she sent a message to one of the Naga who she's acquainted with. So that's going to be a whole thing, I'm sure. Oh, excuse me. I'm like embarrassed to admit it, but I'm like kind of intentionally messing up my sleep schedule for the release of Dawn Trail. So I can get up right when the servers get up. So I'm a little bit sleepy today. It's working well. It's gonna be fine, but it does mean just mean I'm gonna be a bit sleepy today and Wednesday. Gosh darn it. I had this whole thing of coffee. I went to Dutch Bros. I don't go to Dutch Bros that often, but I had a bit of a deal today. And so I have an enormous sugary coffee, which I'm not opposed to having. Also, the other half of that is I'm out of coffee myself at the moment. We ran out of coffee beans. So this is how I get my coffee for today. I have more coffee arriving Wednesday. I try to get decent coffees where I can, when I can. Single origin and stuff, which is not. Sometimes I just buy whatever's at the grocery store, but I try to get good or interesting stuff. Usually like pretty light roast. Okay, so how are we opening this? Pretty much where we left off, as usual. Let's go take a look at, my notes are so bad for the last two sessions. I need to, like, literally rewatch the sessions. Glad I have VODs of them. I would almost recommend anyone, like, record their sessions just to, like, have reference. It's completely unnecessary, but if you take better notes than I do, you totally don't need to do that. But it's very helpful for me to be able to go back and just like re-listen to the players talking and kind of like synthesize what, compile what they have in their heads when I'm not also trying to run the game. That's incredibly helpful. Because there were some things that I was worried about in here, for sure. Okay, so we open on the party rushing to the gate to see this column of devils. And the big cannons they have brought to siege the city. That is way more descriptive than I need, but whatever. So party sees this through the gate. the captain on top of the wall. Shouts at them to turn back. No one can leave the city. You know, it's dangerous out there. Let's see. The party may be able to... This is too wordy. The roleplay here could go multiple different ways, but I think what's going to happen... either the captain is not going to let them out, or he's going to go with them, like, you know, with his own troops as well. And I think those are the kind of the two states here, maybe. I hate having a dog has made me hate fireworks. Just heard a firework pop off outside. Just like made me absolutely hate rogue fireworks. I never realized just how much dogs can dislike fireworks in particular. I don't really know what it is. My dog doesn't mind most other loud noises, doesn't really get bothered by like big trucks or whatever. My friend's dog gets bothered by all of these things. But my dog doesn't mind too many things. Didn't even mind fireworks the first year. But like we'll be walking lately and someone like half a mile away will pop off like a firecracker and my dog will just, he doesn't panic really. It's almost more sad than if he was just like freaking out, but he just turns around wherever we are on our walk and adamantly like guides us home. And I feel bad every time. So I've come to start hating like fireworks, just random singleton fireworks going off. Like if you're gonna shoot off fireworks, what are you doing firing off one? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Okay, these guys are firing off a few, so I guess they avoid my ire. But yeah, even when I'm walking him at like 3 a.m., people are still firing shit off. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Can't wait for the 4th to be over. I'll probably be, not to make everything about on trail, I'll probably be walking him at like 4:35-ish a.m. over the weekend. So it will hopefully not be an issue. Okay, anyway, if the party convinces I need a name for this captain, I need a name for this captain. The Drow don't really have this kind of Spain-centric set of names. I've also definitely used some of these. Lina, Julia, Anna, Belen, Salma, Mara, Miguel. Do I? Izan, Leo? Oh, I don't remember. I thought I used one of these names. Don't need this heart riddle anymore. Anyway, this captain clearly needs a name. I think I'm gonna get memed on if I name him Bekai. Bekai, maybe. We'll do it though. If the party convinces him to let them go, deal with the devils. He hesitates. Looks around. Then says, fine. I didn't even think he'll say fine, actually. Say archers with me. Not recruits. What's the word? Volunteers. Man the walls. You. With me. Say something slightly different to the archers. They'll say like, archers with us. This is probably a little too scripted, but whatever. These wretched flowers will be upon us before we reach the cannons. Let's see. Let's keep this shorter. Bring these wretched flowers before they can reach us. Then close us off. Then close around us. Yeah. His men immediately jump too. As they descend the wall, he shouts for the gates to be opened. I guess it's a singular gate. Whatever. Looks to the party and says, our targets are the cannons. Let's see. We must not linger after destroying them. And we'll see how the roleplay goes from there. So, they're going to be trying to convince him to just let them out. And this captain, seeing that they're going out, seeing what they're planning on doing, he's going to rally his men to go out with them. See kind of this opportunity, like, maybe these people are fools. But let's take the opportunity. They only have 2 cannons. And that's the, like, without the cannons, they are no threat. They're no threat to our wall, our defenses. Maybe they get stuck outside. Maybe they destroy the cannons and the walls kind of start like closing back in the like defensive barrier, and they can't get back in. And so they have this like contingent of guards with them. Interesting thought. Maybe. Anyway, I don't even know how to hash out a lot of these other scenes. I don't honestly know what else is definitely going to happen next time. I know some things that might happen. So let's write out... We got through all the scenes last time, so there's that. If they go somewhere and rest, I know something that happens the next day, but I'll take a couple liberties with the dramatic timing on when that'll happen. Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I can... script out meeting this priestess too much, because I don't know which way it's gonna go, but... I don't have a name for this town, do I? I don't quite remember what the name of this is. I'll come up with one if I need to. I might have it in my notes for the rotunda. Villages... Town is relatively big, actually. Couple tiers of residential and what's the name? Governmental? Civic? Seeming of buildings, many seemingly residential, are built into and up the cave wall. Many buildings line the water, docks. Some structures with hooks and strange fish, the likes of which you've never seen. Some scaffolding, I guess, would be the name, not just structures. No boats on the water right now, though. And be the you. Hello, Nerdy Sakura. It do be. It do be the me. How are you doing today? How's your Monday going? Let's see. If it is indeed still Monday for you. Some smashed boat frames line the shore near the town. Doing all right. Last session I had the most intense session ever. Really? Really? That sounds exciting. I like a good intense session. It's been a while since I had a real eyebrow burner. Some burned out or cut up husks of these carnivorous plants. Lie outside the walls. But before that, hastily constructed wall lines. Encircles the city from lakeshore to cave wall. Different sections are made out of different material. Some, let's see. Some wood. Seemingly scrapped boats and docks in places. Some stone. Some out of kind of a smooth material. Iridescent. That's a good word. Iridescent material. And this is just made out of like shells from the lake. Okay. So, this intense session. I started off with 7 HP as a sorceress with 12 AC. We are in a tomb that is slowly flooding. Oh god. That's some good tension right away. We meet the new player's character, get chased by multiple things, including drow. I get attacked while trying to maneuver around some gnolls. And one strike hits me, dealing 6 damage. Oh god, so you're at 1. Then I try to maneuver around the map using stealth and movement to get away from them, but eventually get knocked out. Oh. We then all wake up in the same jail cell that most of us all started in again. Oh my goodness, I see. While this tomb is still flooding. I love a good flooded tomb, by the way. I had one of my last campaign that held some very important objects. Some burned out or cut up husks of these carnivorous plants lie outside these walls. Not nearly as many as are attacking the main city. Main city. Let's use our words. The capital. Is that even how you... Okay. Managed to get out of the flooded tomb by making the hole bigger and having our friendly gelatinous cube Globagoo go first. Excellent name. He died trying to protect us. May he rest in peace. Oh my goodness. Rest in peace indeed, Globagoo. There's a lot of description for this town. It's fine. I don't think I have a name for this town, so I can probably just come up with something, but... So, meeting the priestess. There was one player kill, though, and it technically happened because of friendly fire. Oh, no. Oh, no. Was it like AoE? I almost died recently to someone critically failing trying to stabilize my character. It was extremely, extremely close. I already know this, but she's actually the Oracle of Denala. Doesn't try Super hard to hide that. What's her name? Aldane something? What? Do I not have a... Are you... Okay. Maybe I don't have that set up yet. I guess I need a page for this Oracle. I thought I had a NPC page for her already. Let's see. Hesitant. Hesitant? Hesitant. Wow. Good spelling. Hesitant to bring the monsters to the rotunda. But can be convinced. In the rotunda, she will not shut off the automaton defenses. Janala forbids it. Okay. If you would have your prize, fight for it. I knew there was enemies down a hall. Tried to help them throwing a chaos bolt at disadvantage at a straight line. I missed the first two on... two in line hitting the ally. Oh my god. Failed a death save and got eaten. Oh my god. Chaos bolt doesn't require you see the target to throw it. Right. Oh, that's pretty rough luck. Oof. I am, sorry to hear that. Turns out he wanted to die and wanted it to happen by my hands. Okay. At the end, I asked the DM, so how much XP does... Oh my god. How much XP does the player give? A classic question. One that brings much rage to me. 200 total for the session. I don't know exactly what she's going to say, how she's going to introduce herself, really. Let's go to fantasy name generator real quick. See if I get some. Let's see, real names. Historic. Roman names, excellent. I don't know some of the meanings of these names would be nice, but I like Cilia. She is technically from a region we've already seen in the world, so she's going to have a naming convention to match. Person, NPC. Status is fine. Faction is fine. Home continent. Monothon. I guess the continent's name, by the way, is actually Ilizon. And I've been fucking it up this whole time. Home country is Eden, and that's good enough. Okay. Oh, I guess one pretty big thing to describe here about her. Has a nasty scar. This is actually an NPC that, once again, has been met in a previous campaign. And could have been a bigger deal in that campaign, but the party was pretty much like, no, scared of this one, get her away. But she has a nasty scar right below where the collarbones meet. She was like stabbed to a tree with a spear for quite the long ritual. And at the time, the party discovered that they actually didn't have enough knowledge to figure out what was going on, but they'd made the determination that Denala was keeping her alive, and it freaked them out. They're like, we don't want to have anything to do with this lady who has the favor of the four. We don't, whatever. She's saved, it's fine. Go on your own way. Don't want to have anything to do with her. And now here she is again in a different campaign. Currently have 1,000 experience in the bank. At the moment, we have at least 2 level 1 characters, and I'm level 3 still. I see. Does your GM, do you think they'll, like, have kind of a checkpoint level where, like, once the, like, all the party members or, like, the party's average level hits a certain point, then all new characters start at, like, this higher, not all the way caught up point, but, like, maybe once the party hits, like, a collective level 5, then they'll start starting at level 3 when they die or something? Or is it just level 1 every time? Let's see. What are you grumbling at, dog? Oh, you're right behind me. I don't know if he's like about to bark or if he's just like sleep roughing. The module is out of the abyss. Okay. Level 1 every time, I think. Okay. We can share XP between one another, so we can level up at any point. But we have the XP for doing so. Okay. Okay, got you. That's neat. That's a neat idea. Especially since, you know, if you have a couple, like, the party... Those aren't the right words. The XP curve gets a little ridiculous. So eventually, one player with a bit of banked XP is going to be able to, like, give 3 other players, like, 3 levels without batting an eye. From level 1. So that's not a bad way to do it, as long as there's not a TPK. If there's a TPK, then that's going to be rough. Traditional-ish robes. Of a Denolan cleric. Oh, thank you, Windows key, with a traveling cloak. Worn over it. She wears an older like a very old what do you call the very old symbol of Denola around her neck? I'm forgetting what the clerics what they wear, what their amulet is called. Their religious, their focus, their divine focus, their divine, their holy symbol, right? That's what it's called. So it's very like antiquated holy symbol, essentially. Holy symbol is the official term. Okay. So it's similar to the tree that everyone knows to symbolize Denola. But with the sun either rising behind it or being lifted by it. Kind of unclear. Divine Focus. Oh, Divine Focus is basically the same thing as well. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I was like super blanking on the name. I need to go back to my old notes. Not gonna do it right now because it's boring, but I need to go back to my old notes from last campaign and double check that this kind of matches what I remember. I kind of spitball. They get into these situations where they find out information I wasn't expecting them to find out, and then I have to like spitball things like, oh yeah, it's like this old symbol. It's not the, it's an old symbol, but it checks out. It's like this tree. It's like this god's old title before they were the god of this world was like the Lady of Dawn or something like that. Something like that. The four had names associated with their associated time of day. So like the god of death, his like title from that era, from that world was like the Lord of the Midnight Gate or something. So he's, yeah. It's like the god of death and the flow of souls. But they knew him as the Lord of the Midnight Gate instead of like the god of death. So, yeah, she has this whole thing where she is incredibly powerful, this Isilia Aldane, but being Denala's oracle, pretty much she like can't use her power for warfare or to fight. So that is a very particular limit that this lady has. Also, I think... yeah, I think she's going to have a limited spell list, too, outside of that, even. she'll, yeah, actually be mostly focused on nature and like life magic and not divine magic at large. Okay, so there's that. I'm not really sure what other scenes will definitely happen. I don't even know that these scenes will definitely happen. There's some scenes I gotta write up that could come up at any time, but I don't think they'll happen in the next session. But the human army is coming for the army of Sarahtonin humans from the surface world and to the south will be arriving to help, and it will turn out that they're not actually there to help. It'll turn out they're working for the people attacking this kingdom already. So that's gonna be a whole ass thing. Okay, so let's go over the secrets and clues, and then we'll take a break, and then I'm gonna just play around with Foundry a bit. I'm gonna come up with like a battle map for the whole devil fight thing, but there might be something that exists already for that. We'll see. I don't think we're gonna do that tonight, probably. Okay, so secrets and clues from last time. The Arxistinium is in Temel. They more or less got this from a book that I'm gonna go make in Foundry. I should put that in their notes of like documents they've found. I think I can do a folder of notes, right? I think that's possible in Foundry. Anyway, they don't know. They have a book that tells them that the Arxistinium is in Temel, and they can figure that out if they look into it more. Unshackled have an independent military cell, the Partisans of the Chosen Path, and whatever. We'll keep it on there. That doesn't really come up. The Seraph's Comet will arrive before 2 nights pass. That will stay on there for a bit longer. Turris' score is fairly typical. That'll stay on there for now, although that might get explained to him soon outside of secrets and clues and rumors. Construct guards the Rotunda. The researchers had to retreat until contact. They found this out. This is how they found out about the priestess, Celia Aldane. So that one's done with. The Human King of Sarosa is already an ally of the Unshackled. We're going to find that out soon. But I don't even think they're going to be in a... We'll keep it. It's fine to have 2 Unshackled-related things going on. Devils have long worked with these cults and people hungry for power, looking for an opening to plow their way into the world. They're kind of finding that out now. Not that they've long worked with these cults, but they definitely know that the devils are working with them right now. We'll italicize this. I'll think about it. The world's mana, spiritual energy, something is still shackled by the ley line nexuses put in place by the 4. That's fine. The divine Naga that served the 4 are the same as those referenced as guardians of the land. We'll keep that in there because I haven't... Literally one of the party members knows that, but I haven't like explicitly told everyone. And I just explicitly told them that the Rotunda contains the more dangerous gods. So we have 3 secrets and clues to replace. All of the other ones are still more or less relevant, with maybe the exception of this Devil's one. I might include more about that. I apologize for the noise being made by my coffee vessel. So, like I said, 3 or 4 secrets and clues. We have some pretty hardcore ones in here already. Well, with the Human King of Sarosa working for the Unshackled. Try to lean the other way so my sleepy dog is in frame. Let's see. And maybe let's look at the notes. The Seraph's star is already too close to stop. Parentheses, by repairing the towers. They found Envoy. They already know. They kind of already know the Hands deal a little bit. They have an idea about what he's doing and why-ish he's doing it. And they knew that stenos were working for him, but they didn't really push him on that. So we will not hammer that home too much, I think. I could just throw on the real big one. But they'd find it out in a very particular place. It's like a little too restricted to put on the secrets and clues. So I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm not even going to tell you guys what it is, what the big one is. You'll find out eventually. What did I say? Oh, I said I was going to give... I'm already going to give some of this information away for free in the notes that I give them. Like that Farley stole some Forgotten God artifacts. And that this was like his intent upon entering. Oh, let's see. Let's throw this one on there. The Hand, aka Uro, and the Seraph, the Unseen Seraph, both work for the same entity, more or less. The Rotting Mother, aka... I don't remember the spelling, but Shub-Nigroth, I think? Yeah. Who has also been like referred to as like the Watcher Beyond the Veil and all these other things. So that's kind of the overarching... They're not like the leader of the Dominion, but the Dominion's kind of a chaotic group. They're like semi-organized. They have these... They're like capable of planning and putting together these organized assaults, but like... They're inherently an organization that worships like entropy. So they're only sort of organized. I imagine there's like factions, there's different beings with different goals and wants, probably, as long as it contributes to entropy in some way. Something I just want to sprinkle in is that there's going to be like undead skeletons, things like that, like fighting devils. There's going to be a spot where a bunch of undead just like killed a bunch of devils somewhere around here. But I don't think it's in the direction of this other town. We can put it on here. It might be a rumor. Might be something like, you know, if they gather rumors, I can look through here and try to grab that for them. Maybe? I don't know, whatever. We'll throw it on there. Some undead have been attacking the devils and the unshackled. Ignoring other living beings. I guess I'll throw in the moonflowers. That could be relevant around here. So there's a whole thing there where this one of the forgotten gods, it's like god of undeath, like had to deal with the devils of kind of like this pact of, if you can release me, if you can weaken the bonds holding me prisoner, then I will give you access to this world. Like, you can, the devils will be allowed to enter. We will summon some of your people here. But then the devils turn around and are working with the Dominion to try to give this world to the Dominion, and so this Bone Lord is like, no, fuck you. I'm breaking our contract. I'm not about this. So that's what's going on with that. Also a nod to last season, technically. Last campaign, technically. Like, last campaign was the campaign of the expedition accidentally bumping into every storyline that would become this campaign. I'm a little worried about eating too much of that campaign's lunch in this campaign, but this one makes a lot of sense. There are some other things we're avoiding. We're not going to touch the Veilspire, probably. Not going to touch a lot of stuff that was in that, but specifically this stuff with like the devils and the undead, that's going to be just ripped right into this campaign. And then the stuff with like the giants versus Temel, that was part of the spark of the conflict that like led to this campaign. So it's going to be in this campaign as well. It's going to get turned around in this campaign. So, yeah. Okay, I think this is fine. This devil's thing is fine to keep here, I think. Devils have long worked with these cults, looking for an opening to clock their way into the world. It's fine. Excuse me. Basically, their partnership with the Dominion comes down to, like, the Dominion wants... the Dominion wants, like, the four main gods that have been, like, locked away here. Kind of wants their, like, followers and their people and the psychic people that came from the Four's old world. And then the devils want, like, the kind of heart of this world, the divine, you know, they want the access to the actual, like, life force of the world is their motivation, their thing. So they can basically separate that. You know, they don't really want the same thing other than they want access to this world, so they're working together to give each other access. So Anyway, I think we're mostly done with the sheet. I will eventually kind of add some things onto this. Some of the other stuff on like the Lazy GM's prep steps. But like coming up with fantastical locations, but I think I already have some of those in mind for this next couple of sessions, so I'm not too worried about it. And like figuring out the enemies involved, I already kind of naturally do that, so those steps are already built in a little bit. We already have the devils loaded into Foundry that we're going to use for this. So yeah, I'm going to take a quick break, get up, stretch my legs. Been going for not quite 2 hours, but about 2 hours, and then we're going to come back. I'm going to warn you that the section after the break might not be very long. We're going to go back to Foundry here. I'm actually going to go turn the server off right now, because what we're doing is we're going to try to update the game to version 12. We're going to try to update Foundry to version 12 and see how things look. Going to make a copy of this world, which I'll do right now. Against the Dominion update test. ATD update test. Make that clone right now. And then we'll work on that for a little bit after the break. So catch you guys in a couple of minutes. Alrighty. I am back. And let me move my notes off the page real quick. And then go find the game. I think I need to... go into my game's configuration. How do I do this? So... Okay, most of these are stopped. I can delete a few of my worlds at this point. Okay, so we're gonna go find Against the Dominion update test. No. Manage game manager. First of all, last Foundry VTT version used on this release channel. Update to V12. This will affect available packages in the bazaar. Due to module incompatibilities, it is recommended that all of your games use the same Foundry version. Yeah. Foundry telemetry, so... You could set the Foundry theme here? That's kind of silly. I mean, it's cool. It's also kind of silly, though. Let's... I'm so, like, scared to press any of these gosh darn buttons. But let's press the button. Let's press the button. Foundry game is configured to use the latest channel. Currently running on this. Before upgrading, we recommend you back up all of your worlds. Sure, export them all. Hit me with it. Should have deleted some of those other worlds first. Oh, it's done. It's only 100 megs. That's not bad. How is it only 100 megs? I guess it doesn't... It must not export assets and stuff. So that's good, I guess. I wonder if you can download your assets folder. Like if you could just get a zip of your entire assets folder. Anyway. Now we hit the upgrade button. Game is currently active, blah, 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 blah. You've upgraded it to do the thing. Update all your systems and modules from the bazaar. I was going to be a little more methodical about this. I was going to be like, is there like a Foundry V12 module checklist or something? Cleanup checklist. Things that need to be accomplished. Oh, that's literally their GitLab list. Anyway. It's too late anyway. The idea that I'm trying to work on going to make me go insane. I understand. I understand from a GM and a player perspective. Goodness, that's a lot to update. I'm like having heart palpitations updating all these things at once. I'd much rather ship of Theseus it than like rip it all out and retrofit it all at once. It's so scary to me. It's all right. The melancholy of Endless Space 2 will keep us grounded. Persona 3. Oh yeah, the C's right, yeah. I've played through all of Persona 3. It's like one of my favorite JRPGs. It is my favorite Persona game. Special on it, yeah. I'm trying to make my own club with an acronym for my world. I see. Acronyms are kind of hard. Trying to come up with like a cool acronym for an organization. It's tricky. Oh, Carousel? Carousel is updated. Sick. All right. The best one ChatGPT gave me was Dawn. Defenders against wicked nightmares, but I already have a cult at the moment named the Black Dawn. Tricky, yeah. That one is that one's all right. These chatbots are not impressive to me with creative work. It's such a like trend towards the middle, if that makes sense. Like a lot of it is kind of some of the most generic stuff you'd think of. I've been asking it isn't ChatGPT, but I've been asking Notion's AI to come up with riddles for me for this riddle god that I have, and they're just actually bad. And then I like ask it to come up with like a harder one, and like the answer to the riddle was like right in the riddle, and I was like, oh, They can do well. It just needs the right phrasing. Yeah. Like, I feel like even with the right phrasing, it's perfectly competent, but it's generally not spitting out anything. It's like helpful as a randomizer in the same way that random tables can be helpful as a thing to like spark your creativity off in a different direction. It's just like many of them are like in the first 5 things you'd think of yourself, answering the same questions. This is the poem I got from ChatGPT for my character. In literature class, we discussed haiku. I love the simplicity and depth of it. Just a few words to convey so much meaning. Wrote a few during lunch break. In spring's gentle breeze, cherry blossoms kiss the sky, petals dance like dreams. Beneath the moon's silver glow, whispers of love softly flow. That's very pretty, I will say. Accidentally added the paragraph before the poem. No problem. I did assume that wasn't part of the poem. Okay, let's see. This updated all the worlds, didn't it? Well, we can still click into... Can still click launch into one of the worlds. Oh wait, okay, it still prompts you to... You're 119 mods. I kind of wish it wouldn't disable my modules. And just like let me go with what I already have enabled and see if it explodes. But that's fine. We'll still we'll migrate the test world. Haiku, though, is only the first 3 lines of that poem. I then added 2 lines to turn it into a tanka, which is a 5-line poem. Okay. Equal to a certain number of syllables. Got you. I always... Yeah. I knew there were, like, ways to extend to haiku. I didn't know if it was, like, a different type of poem, technically. So, that is cool to know. It is cool to actually know. You have not saved a backup of your world. You did do that for me, thank you. The other thing that freaks me out about doing this update process, like I went through and updated all the modules, but if I have to roll back, I don't get to roll back to the version I just had them on. Like, they're all updated. So if I go back to the old version, I have to update all the modules to the latest version that supports V11 Foundry. And that's kind of the only option. And, not all module creators have, like, perfect versioning. You know, some of them mess up a little bit, and you can end up running, like, a V12 version of a module on Foundry V11, for instance. And, because you have to adjust those manually. So it can be a little bit tricky. A little bit tricky. Okay. Now we have to go through and turn on all the... Oop. All right. The Pathfinder stuff migrated correctly. That makes sense. Let's go. Let's just look at some of the characters here. Character sheets look exactly like they did. So that's cool. Okay. Yeah, everything looks about the same, really. Okay. How about Anna? How'd Anna do? Other than the fact that this is not the not the styling I'd like to use for my NPC sheets, this looks fine. Suggested monster parts. This must be from... Yeah, it's from Barbazwho. Okay. Yeah, the haiku is 575 and Tonka added 77. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, these NPC sheets look pretty lame without the custom style sheets. So let's turn on some modules. I'm convinced everything looks like it ported over properly. Let's go look at some old maps. Let's see how the Moonlight Pools looks if we drag one of the players around. I have realized that I'm going to have to rework the player sheet for my campaign. Really? Why is that? Let's have Stu wander around, huh? The walls all look fine. Light is kind of as snappy and nice as usual. I know they increased performance on lighting, and I'm pretty excited. They increased performance on a lot of things in V12, and I'm pretty generally excited about that. Oh, the standard currency in D&D. Yeah, right. Yeah, copper, silver, gold, electrum, platinum. In my world, we have that plus yen. Oh my goodness. I don't think it's too bad in Foundry. I don't know what you're running it on. But, you know, if it's just like a specific type of treasure with a specific value, you can just like convert between them pretty easily. If you're on roll 20 or something, you're kind of screwed. I don't run it at the moment. Gotcha. Don't. Okay, so active auras we can update. Kind of surprising. Turn on socket lib and lib wrapper. I also want to refresh right now because 25 other things are going to use socket lib and lib wrapper. Socket lib has not been verified for V12. That's a little scary. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. The X card hasn't been updated in a million years, but it isn't that complicated, so maybe it'll still work. We'll go from the top down. I don't really need adventure music. I don't really need ambient doors. Last verified for V10. Let's skip it for now. Skip autocomplete inline for now. I'm not doing any custom scripting right now, so that's fine. Automated animations is great. We'll have to turn on sequencer for that. Barbazwho should be. Barbazwho just updated. What are you talking about? These are fine. I'm going to absolutely ignore everything that it's telling me about Barbazwho stuff right now. I watched them update. They're fine. Better roofs, maybe? Do I care about better roofs right now? I'm not using roof tiles, and I won't use roof tiles for the next couple of maps. Let's skip it. Skip the map ones until we need them. Carousel combat tracker will turn on. Color picker we'll leave off for now. Combat booster turn. Yeah. That one's cool. Crossblade we keep off. Beta toolbox. Dice so nice is a must. Dice tray. Hello, Rye. Oh no, you peeked in. Stu is my test. We just updated the version of the server, and Stu was my test dummy because he's got easy vision rules. Drag ruler. We'll keep it off for now. Embed cloud documents is super nice. Okay, so a black marker means it's been updated for V12, but not... It hasn't been verified for the current version of version 12. Good to know. This is just skins for Dice So Nice, so that should be fine. Forge client settings? Force client settings. Yeah, let's turn that on. Who am I kidding? I use Forgotten Adventures a ton. Don't need that. FX Master I want. Let me go check this one and see if there are any issues reported. Uh-oh. Top issue, module incompatibility with Foundry VTT version 12. I've encountered an issue which does not function properly in the latest blah blah blah. Oh, so it worked with a version of V12, but not the latest stable version. Where that the module is incompatible with V12, unfortunately quite busy. Alright. We just won't use fog for a little bit. I'll come back to that one. Handy Fawn's dice addiction is just dice skins. Health estimate is great, but we are using the other hover. Image hover I love. I don't know what initiative double click does. I just literally don't. Inline table rolls we don't need right now. The Jam and Jack stuff I'm going to risk turning on because I have characters that rely on those. And they're just... all of this should import fine because they're just character sheets. Weird that JB2A isn't updated. It should be fine because, again, it's just assets that are used in other modules. Unfortunately, they don't have a GitHub. So I can't tell. Only new stuff zips. Before presenting new assets, we want to quickly talk about V12. We know how exciting a new major version can be. We are very much looking forward to giving it a try. We highly recommend considering staying with VN a couple of months. Module developers having a time. Currently, blah, 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 blah. Well, they're not saying it doesn't work. On alternatives to automated animations for V12, without this, I have no reason to stay subbed. Uh-oh. 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 Well, we'll try it. We'll see what happens. I don't think journals like a script we need. I think I can remove journals like a script. I think scripts can just run in journals now. You can just put buttons for macros in journals. Lancer clocks. I would love to have clocks that work, but it's okay if not. Levels will turn on when we use a map with levels. Oh, lock and key works. That's sick. Custom dice. Excellent. We'll leave the battle map stuff off. Player settings. Oh, shoot. Did I use Monk's player settings or did I use... Heck. I don't know what... I have two modules installed for sharing settings with players. And I don't remember if it was this one or the other one. We'll just turn them both on. What could be... what's the worst that could happen? I guess we'll turn on Monk's wall enhancements. I think this is... Oh yeah, this is like snapping walls together. This is just like for placing walls down. Molinet I won't play with yet. Gonna be releasing my music on Molinet though, so I need to start playing with that at some point. I might start just importing my music through Molinet instead of uploading it directly. Don't need one-page parser for this. Oracles Plus is 10.2. Okay. Again, it should still work fine because it's just like item entries, no like scripts or anything. Should be okay. Don't need the beginner box. Do want the token pack. Don't need the PDF importer. Do want perceptive. PF2E animation macros. I'm sure this is broken. I'm sure that's what those people were talking about. Yeah, warp gate requirement. And no one really talked about it? Well, I guess it's 2 hours ago. All these issues are so old? I thought a ton of people use this module. How's no one like, yo, what's going on? I guess there's 102 closed issues. Yeah, okay. Because it or any of its dependencies are not compatible. I'm just a bit unclear. Is this module just never going to support V12? It's an add-on for automated animations, which is in maintenance mode and will likely take a while before it becomes available on V12, if ever. Macros that depend on warp gate, which has stopped development and is already completely broken. Dependent on sequencer. That is done now. Sequencer is working now. And now 2 days ago, automated animation has version 12. Okay, so that's cool. So maybe we'll try this. Oh, but it's gonna... Okay, so automated animations is working. I might have to do a little research to get this one going. Actively fix critical bugs. Centered around the use of blah, blah, blah. Current systems. Okay. I'm not going to turn on... So far, I'm not going to turn on PF2E automated animations and warp gate. We're just going to leave that alone for now, and I'll tinker with it offline. That'll probably take a while. Compendia. Wow, that didn't. Those words just didn't work. The companion compendia we're going to turn on and hope that it works, because we need it for Voraktee's Eidolon. I don't actually know what interactive token tooltip does. Is this the one I think it is? Is it token HUD? Yeah, it is this one. Okay. And I'm just used to looking at it with like kind of the glass skin. This one has this incredibly useful range indicator when you like have a token selected and you're hovering another token. I love that a lot, so we're going to turn it on. Keybind Menagerie. I have no idea what this is. Oh. Make things flat-footed by hovering and pressing the F key. I'm pretty sure that's why I installed it and I never... I have no idea. I have no idea if I use this at all. Let's check if it is broken for V12. It's broken for V12. Well, it's not compatible with... This guy's saying the thing I already know, where it's not compatible with V12, but it might work. But we'll ignore it. I'll come back to it. Modifiers matter. Path Muncher. Tool Belt. Workbench. I'm gonna leave Ping Logger off. Playlist Importer, don't need it. Polyglot is great. Pop Out is fine. Quick Draw is my favorite add-on. Settings Extender. I forget what this does. Key binding allows the user to enter a key into the input field while holding down modifiers like controller. Alt, mouse button binding, okay. The settings menu, adding additional types for configuration values. File picker. File type has to be blah blah blah. The second one, what? User to select, okay. I have a feeling that this is for modules to use as an API. And I don't need it if a module is not using it. That is my feeling. So we'll ignore settings extender until I click something where I need it. Oh, I want the shared cross-world compendia. Want simple calendar. Don't want simple fog. Don't want the random encounter generator, probably. Probably don't need that for this game. Don't need Table Ninja or any of these. Don't need this. Maybe. I need, if I'm not using this Forge extender thing, I need to turn it off. Like, I need to get rid of, like, I need to uninstall it, because I always look at it and I'm like, do I use that? And I don't actually, I just don't know. What is it called? Forge. It's just the Forge more awesomeness. Forge Compendium Library. The Forge developed module for Foundry VTT that displays content from D&D Beyond in a more organized fashion. That's not what we need. Two-factor auth. Patreon integration. It's fine. Live kit. Save points. Okay. That's not the thing I was looking for. Oh, whatever. We'll just turn it on. It's not like it does anything if it's not working. More dice skins. Get updates for Rippers modules. Love Token Action HUD. Although I don't know if any of my players use Token Action HUD right now. I use Tokenizer all the time. Token Z. Easily manage the Z index of tokens. I wish it had a little more, just a little more information than that. Do you have a? You can find documentation on the wiki. As a V12, Token Z replaces the core Foundry VTT token sorting and removes the sort buttons from the token HUD. In Foundry VTT, tokens are sorted by two parameters, elevation and Z index. It's possible to change the elevation via the token HUD, but the Z index field is internal and can't be changed. Token Z handles this problem. Elevation has priority over Z index. Tokens with higher elevation will always be on top. Z index comes into play when the tokens are at the same elevation. Elevation size. It's fine. That's fine. We can turn this on. Okay, only a couple more. I do like Universal Battle Map Importer. Wall height is not important without the other, like, multi-level things, and we're not using those right now. Warp gate is fucking broken, baby. This I know. There's been a lot of drama about that. Other people forked warp gate, this module. This module creator made this module called warp gate. They had it as like an open license until like earlier this year. People forked that version with the open license, and they haven't been working on the module in a while, right? They've like said they've abandoned it. People forked it, started working on it, updating it for V12, and then the module author said they saw this and they were forced to bring the GitHub offline. They like made an update specifically to change the license to all rights reserved, and then brought their code repository offline. And it's very weird drama that I don't fully understand. I don't totally get where they're coming from, but we'll hopefully they let other people kind of maintain their module for them. I don't know. We'll see. What is World Explorer? I love worlds without number tables. That is my own module. I'm not worried about that one breaking. X card is a good safety tool, so we're going to turn that one on, and hopefully it doesn't break anything. What's World Explorer? Oh, I just should uninstall World Explorer. I'm not going to use that. I played around with it for the West Marches campaign, and it's just not necessary in this campaign. I would love to reload the application. Let's see. Your world seems to be taking a while to load. I did just turn on 7, well, like 7D modules. Turn on a lot of modules. So that's not shocking. We'll see. We'll see. Hang in there. I'm gonna have to go turn on this entire list again for the actual game. This is just the test game. This isn't even the real game. I'm gonna have to turn it all on again. Difference in client settings detected. False true. BG3, CRP dark. Would you like to sync with the current settings? I think so. I think I would. Yeah, why not? Reload the browser again. Now I realized that I heard what I thought was the last song in this Endless Space playlist like an hour ago. But it just kept going. Which is excellent. I'm curious what this deposit PC tokens thing means. So I'm just gonna... That's so good, actually. So I can just drag the party sheet out and hit that, and it dumps all the, like, party tokens around it. I need to tell Moto about that. I'm gonna screenshot it right now. She's like, I would love it if just the party could just move around one token and move together, and then we could just, like, you know, this does exactly, dragging out the party sheet does exactly like what we were talking about. So I'm just gonna real quick take a screenshot. Moto started typing. Is Moto here? Oh no, he's responding to my... I told him the word Shrubador popped into my head, and now all my future character plans are in shambles for the next 10 minutes while I find this Leshy Bard concept really funny. He said it would be, like, cute for, like, 10 minutes in game, too. Using the party sheet token, the button just drops all the player tokens right where the party token is, and it seems pretty relevant to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. That's what I'm telling you, Moto. And another screenshot. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. One issue is I don't know how to actually like make this party token, make the party able to move this party token around. Like no one had permission to move it. And so that was weird. There's no, like, control parameter in here from what I can tell. Oh, yeah, the ring effects. V12 has effects on, like, the ring of the token. It's very sick. Which I haven't done anything with it, but it seems cool. I don't have it. I don't know. I'm going to play with that not right now. We're not going to play with it right now. The ring effect. I'm the most excited to play around with regions, because you could just like drop regions and you could like set this as like a trap, and like in behaviors you could just be like, when like someone like moves here, I guess this is behavior I've done. But like the built-in behaviors are like adjust darkness level, so you can make an area where it's like inside and dark, or like outside and lighter. You can have it like execute a macro or a script. You can have it pause the game. You can have it like turn off. You can turn off the weather in the region. Teleport tokens, that kind of thing. So this is the thing I'm like the most, you know, you could set it so like you turn it on when like the token enters. And it's just good for like, you could execute like trap macros or like trigger certain rolls. And I think I'm going to use this a lot. Modules will eventually come out that will help use this for like difficult terrain, but I don't think that's one of the built-in behaviors. Create holes. Oh, I see. Like, I don't think that's a thing I can do by default. You can change the environment. So if someone has like favored terrain forest, it'll like automatically, you can set up automation to automatically enable their favored terrain if it's a forest region. Kind of the hardest. There's not like a default thing to make it like difficult terrain, I don't think. So you'll need like a module that kind of does that math live for you. But I'm very excited for this module, or this feature and what it means. Okay. Okay. Do a little bit of Metroid. Steris has such little HP. I didn't realize. Steris is level 3, right? Is Steris dumping Con? No. Steris' HP is so low. Maybe witches only have 6 HP per level. What? Okay, I need to play with the party stuff more. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't just be hanging out on the shouldn't be hanging out on the page with the most spoilers. As in just like sitting in the actors tab that whole time. Like, yeah, players can come in now. The one place where I shouldn't be. I'm curious. I don't think there's anything new in encounters. What happens if... Can I put the party in the encounter sheet? No, it just freaks out. Okay. We'll go back to the or the Moonlight Pools. Oh, it tries to put the whole party in the encounter, but if their tokens aren't on the sheet. I see. Okay. The thingy-majig up here is working correctly. Dig that. Let's try some stuff real quick. Let's put these boys in combat. Dice are working fine. Stu's turn. I need to try Drag Ruler and see if... Oh, I hadn't begun the encounter. That's probably why. No. I need to turn Drag Ruler on. So we got that going on. See what happens if I stab. I don't think the animation is going to work. Please target before you attack. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn heck. Okay, but the animation still didn't work. Okay. We'll try... Warp Gate's just going to be super broken, right? It's just not going to work at all. Okay. Well, very excited to turn on a couple of broken ones all at the same time. I'm not going to be able to have these games open at the same time. I'll have to take like multiple screenshots of this page when I get back to the main game. I could just go port it over now instead of screwing around here. I know it works. Everything seems fine. What is the most trouble? Custom items are the most trouble, usually. I don't think I have any... I don't think I've given out anything super custom yet, right? So I don't even think that's an issue. Oh, except maybe... the Divine Intercession might be broken. But other than that, we're probably fine. Okay. All right. I'm convinced. We'll go update the main game. Server is started. Thought it was gonna give me the prompt. Uh-oh. I mean, I guess it's probably fine. There it is. There's the prompt. Update. Okay. Okay. Launch the game. Okay. This can now be launched message it gave me. Appears to be a slight lie. Okay. Moto says he's okay playing an OD&D game. I don't know if I... Oh, original? Interesting. Okay. All right. Time to do that same thing again. We'll double check the characters real quick. Make sure that some things roll. Okay. Okay. All right. Nothing seems giga broke. Let's go to modules. I just start going down the list. I'm gonna try ambient doors. I'm gonna try automated animations. I'm gonna do all the Barbazwho stuff because it loaded fine. Gonna skip better roofs. Turn on carousel. Turn on combat booster. Turn on Dice Nice and Dice Tray. I'm gonna try to turn on Drag Ruler. I'm gonna turn on Embedded Cloud Documents. I'm gonna turn on Entice. All of these, not those, actually. Well, yeah, the Forgotten Adventures one. We'll turn on. FX Master will leave off. Anti-Fawns on. Health Estimate on. Image Hover. Don't know what Initiative Double Click is. Inline. Table Rolls skip. Jamma Jacks turn on. JB2A turn on. Skip Journals like a script. Skip Lancer. Skip Levels for now. Lib Color Settings will turn on. I didn't turn that on before, but we'll turn it on. Lock and Key. Custom Dice. Monks is already on. Player Settings. Wall Enhancements. Molinet will leave off until I play with it. Multi-level tokens will keep off for now. Oracles Plus should be fine. Token Pack on. Perceptive on. Oh. Leave animated macros off. Just leave that off for now. Turn on these. Keep off Keybind Menagerie. Turn on this. Ping Logger is not important. Polyglot is great. Pop Out is fine. Quick Draw is amazing. Settings Extender will leave off unless something needs it. Simple Calendar. Simple Fog will keep off. Turn on the Forges thing. Turn on Custom Dice. Token Action HUD is great. Token Z we don't need. Tokenizer is great. Battle Map Importer is great. I don't remember what Viewport does. Last verified for version 1.0. That seems incorrect. That seems questionable. Witches Plus, Worlds Without Number, Tables, X Card. World X? Oh yeah, World Explorer. I did the exact same thing last time. Okay. What did it turn on that I wanted to test there? Was there anything? Why can I not move this? Dude, what's going on? Why is the game stuck in paused? Uh-oh. We're gonna refresh. I should have checked my console before I refreshed. Let's take a peek at the console this time. Audio helper, which is now... Uh-oh. Namespaced under Foundry Audio Helper. Okay, so there's time for that to be... Okay. Okay, there aren't like too many errors going on. It's mostly this audio helper warning. It's really just this audio helper warning. Okay, but they're maintaining backward compatibility with a lot of these. Interesting. I'm not too worried about it. Some weird things with fonts. Oh, nothing too concerning. Oh, Stu just like didn't actually move when I moved him. Whoa, dude. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that this is an issue with Drag Ruler. Give it a refresh again. And we'll, no, let me scroll up. What were those errors? Yeah, with your minimum resolution. What is this? This destination is null. Yeah, it's Drag Ruler. Drag Ruler's breaking stuff. So no Drag Ruler for now. That's a shame, but you know, happens. I'm sure we'll get by. That's why we do a little bit of testing. So Drag Ruler has to go off. My animations still seem to be working. Some people are getting their Pathfinder animations to work. Somehow people are getting the like automated Pathfinder animations to work without having the warp gate working. So that's interesting. I'm going to look into that a little bit later. Oh, there's an animation. Oh, it is working. Some of them. Some things work, some things don't. So like enable all of these boys for combat. Not begin encounter. I meant to roll initiative. For everyone. Oh, I should have shift clicked that. Holy heck. Huh. This acolyte just totally crit on their initiative. Wild. Literally did. Sick. Oh, but it was set to Steris' turn for some reason? I'm gonna suspect that not all of the animations will work? Question mark? Beak? I apparently reskinned a bird person for this. Swing and a miss. Scene, we'll go ahead and target this guy, and we'll give an I-beam. No animation on the I-beam. But is an animation on Force Barrage. Okay. Okay, so some of the animations are working even without the other stuff. So we're okay for now. Ish. We'll have some slightly fewer animations available, but some are working. And presumably people will update for these things to work without Warpgate eventually. Okay. Okay. All right. I think that's... I don't think there's too much else we gotta test or check out. I think everything seems to be working pretty well in V12, kind of somewhat surprisingly. Nothing seems super broken. I guess one thing is... Oh no, the HUD's up here. Cool. I don't know if people use this HUD the most. After this arc, I want to check in and see how people played. Like, do they use this token HUD? Do they use, like, this thing? This token? This, like, hover HUD? That's, like, a little bit more complete. Looks a little bit more like the character sheet. I like this one more. But it is maybe not quite as fast as just going, like, strikes bonk. Here you have to, like... You have to click, you have to hover, like, pretty long. It's not that long. Takes a bit longer, though. I think in my other game, I just have this pop up instantly. I don't have this hover time at all. Anyway, I just wanted to check back in with the players and see how they actually use all this stuff. Okay. Because I'll get rid of, like, one of them if I can, for sure. The other thing I want to do real quick is... What was that called? It was, like... Interactive token tooltip. Yeah. Health status... Interesting. Client settings, let's see. Is enabled, tooltip position right. Small tooltip on the top. Tooltip delay, I'm going to turn down for myself. Oh, I already had it, like, soft. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think having that pop up faster is better than not. Party observed. This is interesting. Consider actors in the party alliance to be observed. I don't think I want that at the moment. Health statuses. Comma separated string. Leave empty to disable. Okay, I want this off because I have the other health estimate thing. But I guess I could turn the other one off since I'm using this module anyway. Like I could just turn off health estimate. Yeah. Yeah, I like using health estimate. It's got some, like, extra settings I use. Like, I don't want NPCs to die immediately. Okay. So I think, yeah, I think in interactive tokens, I'm going to turn this off. So there's only one health estimate, and that's all. I don't know exactly how this looks to players, though. It might be like... they might have this 5-foot indicator, like, right over the unharmed. So that might be bad. I might have it... Let's change one more setting. I think I want this on the right too, since the other health estimate is showing up over the top, right? So the player will see the 20-foot just like right there. I can get on the camera later and make sure that this all looks like I expect for a player. Okay. Okay. The only other thing I wanted to do. Oh, Florence quest log is up there. I wanted to organize some of these notes a little bit. Let's see. Create another folder. Monstrous ancestries, and we're gonna throw those in there. Oh, someone is taking notes in the game. Talk to Paperman. Wanted me to talk to the Seraph. This has got to be Turkon. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. Let's make another folder. Let's organize this for our players a little bit. Collected documents. Throw the Moonlight Pools one in there. Can you not make subfolders? Oh, there we go. Got him. Let's make a new note. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Where are my notes? So there's one page for meeting summary. Is there a way to, like, bullet point all of this? There we go. This first note is not important. Okay. Door's also enchanted, blah, blah, blah. Hello, Brandon. Number 2 is the shit. Exactly. Love Pathfinder 2. Love month 2 of subscription.
Number 2 is the shit.
And, you know, also, yeah. It is literally true as well. How are you doing, Brandon? What are you up to? So we have that. I said, yeah, the more dangerous god vaults are in the rotunda. God tombs, I guess. Guarded by some Atama thingy. Needed to wait for a priestess to get it. Okay. I would have went overboard had I known. Yeah, my text-to-speech is very not picky in terms of what can trigger it. It's, you know, just hanging out. Got finished cleaning for the day, and I pooped. Mm-hmm. That's fair. Cleaning takes it out of me. More than a lot of things. It's kind of weird. Hello, Miami. BG Varys, more like BG cool guy. You got me. You got me. How are you doing, Miami? Welcome to you as well. Most of the GM prep excitement is done. I've migrated my server over to the new server version, the new Foundry version. So that's done. I'm just like reorganizing notes for my players, like the documents they've found. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I guess I was testing some combat stuff up here. Quite sick. It's in my bones. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not sick, but my entire sinus situation has been messed up lately. These last couple days, and I keep getting worried that I'm getting sick, but really it's just the weather fucking with me. Where did I put this note? Huntsman, there it is. Okay. Which I might rename this note. I might make this a little bit different. Huntsman note. kind of don't need these all to be journals. They could just be single-page pop-outs. That's really all. I might rework the wording on this note, but I shan't do it today. We don't need the page title. Oh, they are showing a single page. That's cool. I think this whole collected documents folder, I'm actually going to be configuring ownership. All players are going to be observers of these notes. If I make them owners, they'll be able to change the contents of the notes. And I don't think I want that. So. Okay. Don't think I really have any other notes for them. Yeah, they like got the location of the moonlight pools, but that's not really important anymore. Oh, they got the book. That's right. Okay. Royal family, I don't know what to call this. Flight from Devils, we'll call it that, that's fine. This chapter, this story, was bookmarked when Turris found this book in the Voice's office. It is a story about how the royal family fled to a mountain in Rudel to escape an invading army of devils and found a castle beneath. Let's see. It's like how the gods commanded the royal family. Let's see. To flee. Grammar is hard. To a mountain in Rudel to escape an invading army of devils. Found a castle beneath. A light shone from the castle and obliterated all of the devils. At the last moment. Okay. Learned the hard way when setting up my forensics kit and doing my first class modules today that they sent actual biological matter for some of these experiments. Oh. Oh, snacks? Oh, no. No, thank you. I'm about to drop into Helldivers 2, but have you been watching the new House of the Dragon season? I have not. I have not seen the previous House of the Dragon season. I have not. I like was not all the way caught up on Game of Thrones. Still am not. I'm missing like 2.5 seasons at the end. I know about the last one as it happens. But so it wasn't like a thing I urgently felt like I had to watch, but I might hop in and check it out. I imagine it's on Max. The HBO Max and not like Amazon. Can I, like, write? I guess it needs a page for it. Yeah, view it all in one page. Book description, edit this. Get rid of the title. Collection of folklore and fairy tales from Rudel. Isn't that how you spell fairy tales? Am I dumb? I guess it's just 2 words. It's just officially 2 words. That's fine. My music stopped again. Nintendo Synthwave, why not? I'm probably only gonna be here for like another 10 minutes or so while I wrap this up, and then we'll find someone to raid. Probably. Aside from the story described below, this book can be used to get a bonus on recall knowledge checks from the area. Or about the area, I guess. About the small border kingdom. Between Temel and Lanova. Alright. Cool. I guess we'll just say +2 bonus. +2 circumstance? Status? Item? I don't know. I need to go look at some other books to figure out what type of bonus. I guess it could also lower the DC. We'll say it lowers the DC because that's... Then I don't have to worry about how it stacks. Okay. Okay. All right, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with the GM prep for the night. Ugh. We'll probably be back with a little bit more prep next week before the actual session. Might set up the combat and stuff, but I've got other stuff I want to do tonight, and we've got the whole extra week, so I'm pretty happy just having Foundry updated to version 12, having the worksheet done, so we'll hop back in and look at things next week. So let's go find someone to raid. I will not be on tomorrow. I usually stream music stuff on Tuesdays. Usually we are composing D&D music on Tuesday, because my brain just works like that. I can make a pun, and therefore that is the day. That is the foretold day for music. Voraktee already? Oh no, there he is. He's on Sea of Thieves. I don't know that we're gonna raid Voraktee. I was just confused when I didn't immediately see him. We're gonna check there are any Pathfinder folks on. There are Abomination Vaults, okay. That might be the next campaign that Moto runs, so I might not raid them. I want to avoid Abomination Vaults. Spoilers. Lots of actual plays going on. Not a lot of actual GM prep going on. That's fine. I think we'll raid Voraktee. I think that's what we'll do. Alright. So. As I said, we will continue this prep sometime next week, before next week's session number 13 for Monsters Against the Void. It's been going a while already. I thought this first arc would be wrapped up, but it's expanded in some interesting directions, and we'll see where it goes from here. The party doesn't know it, but the time is running short before some things start going down. There will be no session this week. I'm going to be completely obsessed with the Final Fantasy XIV expansion as of like Friday morning at 3 a.m. That is when I am planning to be awake and playing the Final Fantasy XIV expansion. Such is the life of someone who is getting by on contract work and not presently employed. I have this freedom to be a little absurd, but it's also closer to a normal sleep schedule than my current one, so it's productive. It's responsible of me to absurdly destroy my sleep schedule to get up for Final Fantasy XIV, if you really think about it. Other than that, I will be doing a little bit of music on Wednesday and maybe a little bit of Final Fantasy VII open world content stuff, but I'm not 100% sure on that second bit. No stream tomorrow. That's pretty much it. Nothing this weekend. I'm going to be completely obsessed. I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.